The complete 1-hour training guide for the Canon EOS digital SLR camera is available to download now in high definition from learncamera.com.
In preparation for this video series, I gave my wife, who knows nothing about photography or cameras, a 5-minute overview of the camera and asked her to go out and take some pictures using the full auto mode. So using the pictures she took walking the streets of Aix-en-Provence, a historic town in the southern regions of France, we can become familiar with the controls for reviewing pictures taken on the camera. This is a really useful feature. Quite often when out shooting, I will use a welcomed break as an opportunity to review the pictures taken and delete the howlers before anyone can open an inquest into what went wrong. In the early days of photography, you may find it useful to keep the bad images for further investigation at a later date. The camera stores a lot of extended information about the state of the camera and settings used at the time when the picture was taken, and this can often help understand where your picture might have gone wrong. To start, we begin by pressing the play button. This will display in the monitor the last photograph taken on the memory card. We can navigate all pictures stored on the card by using the left arrow key to go back and the right arrow key to go forward through the sequence of images. If you press the up arrow button, you are able to configure using the main dial to assist in the navigation of your images. The wheel can be configured to move by a single image, through stills only, through movies, by date, 10 or 100 images at a time. These features only really come into their own when your camera has a very large memory card that is packed with a large selection of photographs, movies, and possibly over a number of days. It is possible to view the images in a grid of 4 or 9 images. To do this, we press the zoom out button once for a 2x2 and again for a 3x3 grid. You can now navigate the images using all 4 arrow keys. To return to a single image view, either select an image by pressing the set key or reverse the grid selection by pressing the zoom in once and then once again. To remove a photograph, we press the delete button. We are asked to confirm this action before continuing or cancel the action. Note that once deleted it cannot be recovered. Let's now take a look at some useful information that can be obtained from reviewing our photographs. Obviously we're keen to see how our picture turned out, but the image displayed in a 3-inch LCD can flatter to deceive. It is often difficult to see if something is properly focused or if enough detail has been gathered. Whilst viewing an image, we can see more closely by inspecting an area of the picture in detail. To do this, we begin by pressing the zoom in button. As we continue to do so, we are able to see more and more detail, but of a smaller and smaller area. You will note there is now a little image outline displayed on the screen with a smaller white box. As we continue to zoom in, the white box gets smaller. This denotes the area of the image we are actually viewing in relation to the complete photograph. This can be very useful as continuing to zoom in, we're able to see what it is we're looking at. In zoom mode, we're able to take advantage of the 4 directional arrows to pan around the image and change the part of the photograph we are inspecting. On the 550D we are using here, we're able to zoom in to a maximum of 15 times magnification. I've made a few quick calculations and it appears that this is enough to see the image at 100% magnification and a 1:1 pixel mapping on the LCD display. Pressing the play button once will return us to a full image display once more. We are able to obtain more information regarding a picture. Press the disc button once to display technical information on shutter speed, focal lengths and image numbering. Press the disc button again and we are presented with a split view which displays a lot more useful information regarding the photograph. We can see information on the date and time, file size and quality. We can also see that the camera has recording information on the settings used to achieve the picture. These settings will start to have more meaning later when we begin to understand what they are and how they work. The most useful information on this page is the histogram displayed in the top right hand corner and the image which is blinking white areas in the top left. So what do they mean? Well, the histogram is a powerful tool and provides a representation of the tonal range covered by your photograph. To the left we represent shadows, to the right we represent highlights. From this we were able to see the spread of dark and light and how big the spread is in between. It's really difficult to correct and fix a photograph that contains no information. By this I mean that an image contains colour and shades of colour. If an image has been overexposed, that is going to eventually just come out all white, and conversely underexposed areas come out all black. When it comes to a picture that has large areas of the white, as we refer to, this is known as blown highlights. The histogram allows us to see how much of the image is under or overexposed. It's not always possible to take a picture without suffering from this effect, such as trying to photograph a dark subject against a bright backdrop might result in some blown highlights in order to correctly expose the subject in the picture. The blinking parts of the picture on the left are the physical locations of those blown areas. This allows us to evaluate if they will have an impact on the important part of the picture we are interested in. If we press the disk button once more, there is one last method of which your photographs can be assessed. This is known as the RGB graph. RGB stands for red, green, blue. They're the primary colours and how digital photographs are created. Assessing the colour channels is possibly a way for savvy photographers to read colour and if they've become overly saturated, which results in a loss of detail. For most amateur photographers, saturation is something that is much easier to pick up on by viewing the actual picture and not something that most of us will use very often. Pressing the disk button once more returns us to full image review, and pressing the play button once exits the image review mode completely.